And
I think
action.
I think that's the project that we need to work on.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold on, I guess we got it. Hold on a second, producer. I mean, what's going on over here? What kind of setup we got going on over here? What are we supposed to do? You need to produce some type of light over here in order for us to do something. Are you gonna do that for us? Hey, you over there in the bar, you gonna do something for us?
Nah.
Oh, okay, now we're talking. Okay, now we're talking here. Why it took that long for us to get going here, man? What's going on? Like, give me the memo next time. Do that. Don't do that. I see you over there. Anywho, what's up, everybody? You know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia giving you another segment of A Word with the World. And we have a special guest in the studio today. You know what I mean? It's a real treat, a real pleasure to have in studio Mr. Rashad Davis.
What's up?
Oh, snap! What's good? What's going on, my man?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you making out?
I'm all right. I'm chilling. I like the atmosphere. I like the vibe. We're good.
Beautiful. I will have to say this to our viewers right off rip. I feel a little bit bad because I made Rashad go on a journey that he wasn't expecting. You know what I mean? So he's seen some things of Jersey that he thought he probably would never see. You know what I mean? But I'm just glad he ain't holding it against me.
Nah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Because, man, you sure enough can see some things in Jersey. No disrespect. Come on, man. I love y'all out there. But y'all know who you are. You know what I mean? So, let's get to it, man, because we got a lot on our plate, a lot on the agenda, a lot of things to talk about with you. You are a man with many hats.
Thank you.
I mean, this guy got a plethora of different skills and abilities, and we definitely want to highlight that today.
Thank you.
It's all about Rashad Davis today. All about. You know what I mean? So let's get to it.
Love it. What's up?
So let's start off with something simple.
Yeah.
So explain to our viewers about yourself.
Okay.
And how you came about expressing your artistry through illustrations.
Ooh, so that's a good question. So, hello everyone. I'm Rashad Malik Davis. I'm an author, illustrator, character designer, graphic novelist, and I sing and write and all that good stuff. So, art has always been something that I've just loved and something that I've just done. But, it wasn't until, actually, I'll give you a little story. So in high school, my senior year, I had the option of pursuing art, or I could just go to a traditional kind of like 4-year college and just say, forget art. And so it was my senior year, and my art teacher was like, so what are you doing? Because she could see that art was my passion, but I just wasn't aggressive about it. And I was like, I don't know. I'll go to school for anthropology. And she was like, what? Are you stupid? She's like, you got all this talent. Like, what are you doing? And I chickened out, man. I in hindsight, I realized I was afraid of not only failing, but I loved art so much that I feared that if I didn't succeed at it, I would be heartbroken. So I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to do it, And I decided to go to a traditional 4-year college, but art just kept calling me. And my senior year at college at Tufts, one of my friends was like, you should submit your art to be an artist for the Africana Center. I ended up getting selected and was the first Black American to have their art kind of displayed. And
beautiful.
Thank you. So it was dope. And from there, my teacher, one of the teachers who was in the exhibition with me, she said, I really like your artwork. Can you illustrate from my book cover? And I said, okay. Had no experience, but it got selected. And it was published by Rutgers University Press. And I was like, wait, I could get paid to draw pictures? This is kind of like, no,
Okay.
And from there is history. I put out on my Facebook, I was like, listen, I'm a freelance illustrator. Who wants to hire me? I got picked up. The book I illustrated became a #1 bestseller on Amazon. Right, like all this crazy stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, let me just pursue my own thing. That's how I jumped into it.
Beautiful. And that's definitely like something that I encourage people.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody has their niche.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody has their skill set and talent towards something.
Oh, yeah.
the thing that separates people is how much are you willing to devote yourself toward it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's really that simple. People try to make it really complex, but it's not.
Right.
You just need the motivation. You need the ambition.
Right.
You know what I mean? But with that ambition, you need the drive to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's what adds the fuel to the fire.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think some people hold themselves back a lot of times because it's like they can't get themselves over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a plan in play. They can see it. The vision is there. I want it. It's almost like there's a need for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I need that in my life to bring some type of purpose, but they can't gravitate toward that.
Yep.
So I love the fact that you were just like, you know what? I'm over here going to school. I'm doing this, but you know what? Let me follow my passion.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you took a chance and it worked out for you.
You know, it's I had to admit, because I think a lot of artists don't talk about this part, but you know, being an artist in the world that we live in means that we need support. So I've been fortunate and privileged enough to be able to have the support of my family. They help me out financially. They help me out emotionally. Like they are kind of the bedrock that helps to keep me going. And you know I've been blessed to have that. And so you know I think it's that. And then also, like you said, it's the consistency part, and that's what I've always struggled with, being consistent with something. I'm a typical Aries. I'm a typical ENFP. I'm always jumping everywhere. Like I'm onto this project.
You had to put in that Aries thing.
Oh, listen,
here we go, man. Here we go. So let's keep it going by getting a little bit more into your insight on things.
Yeah.
As far as your thought process regarding your projects.
Yeah.
How has it evolved over the years? Like, is there a different approach that you come with it? Is there a new perspective that you gained over the years? Do you kind of just stick with the same format? I mean, what's your thought process on that?
Yeah, so you know, as far as my thought process goes, it always centers around a few things. So it always centers around diversity, equity, and inclusion. Like I want to tell stories that I wanted to see when I was a kid, right? So I'm always telling stories about Black individuals. I'm telling stories about queer individuals. I'm telling stories about the world that I actually live in. So that's kind of the theme. But for me, it's fantasy, it's emotions, it's understanding empathy. So those are kind of the core things. Okay. But how I've changed things has been the income streams that I kind of play with and that I take on. So initially, I was just illustrating for people. But then as time went on, I was like, wait, I need to diversify in order to keep myself afloat. So now I illustrate, I teach, you know, I offer online classes. Like I illustrate for myself and others. I'm doing a whole bunch. So, you know, I think the thing that I've done differently is that I've allowed myself to expand beyond just artwork. And now I'm looking at it as a bigger business, and how can I branch out and expand?
See, you talking about me, man. I mean, you got way more stuff going on, man. This man's winning, everybody. Give this guy a clap here, because this guy is winning, man. It's just great being around creative people.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's infectious, the spirit that comes off. You know what I mean? Like, thoughts you could come out, this person come with some thoughts, you kind of just blend things together. You're motivating me.
Right. No, likewise.
Like, my brain is always circulating. You know what I mean? It's almost like a whole bunch of voices through my head, and you're trying to cipher through them. You know what I mean? Because some of it's some rubbish that's running through your head.
All the time.
But then sometimes you get into a little lapse where it's just like, you know, you have a sort of like a creative block. And then here comes this person who's just infectious with their spirit, just coming up with different ideas. They're motivating you to be like, hey, you can do it. Just gotta, you know, get it together. Start and just do a little at a time. You know
just go for it. Yeah, most definitely.
So, what kind of tips or techniques that you can provide for the viewers that could assist them when they're trying to discover their art form?
So, you know, I think the biggest thing for me has just been to live life. You know, I think a lot of artists ask, you know, how can I improve my craft? How can I improve my work? And, you know, I think that comes from intentional study and, you know, deciding what you want to grow in and expanding, especially for visual artists, especially we have to expand and get out of our comfort zones and learn new things. But I think the biggest thing is to get out and live life, because if you don't have life experience, then you don't really have anything to say.
That's a great point.
So I think for me, it's been live life, get out there, experience the world, experience people, have my heart broken, have my heart healed, have, have a whole bunch of experiences, whether it's positive or negative, to just say, like, this is me, and this is what I feel, and this is what I think, to then put into my work.
And that's awesome, because it seems like because of them experiences, you're able to articulate that through your books.
Right.
Through your illustrations.
Yeah.
And they become, it resonates with people a lot more. That's kind of like my approach when I do my books, when I do music. It's like, in what way can I touch them?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Of course, you want to be as creative as possible.
Yeah.
But through my art form, how can I do it in a way that's really touching their heart, or at least getting them to think a little bit?
Right. And that's kind of what I've really been focused on, is like, how can I reach people? And I'll never forget, like, there's this one a friend of mine, she gave my book to her friend's son, and the boy is half black, half white, and he was reading the book, and as he was reading it, he apparently, like, yelled up to his mom, like, "Mom, like, it's me, like, look, it's me." And so, awesome. Like, to know that kids are reading these books and identifying themselves with it, and being like, they feel seen because of something that I made in my room, is dope. Is dope.
Yeah, it is dope. Definitely. So, let's keep it going into another genre that you got yourself into. I got to go ahead and plug it real quick. This man is also a published author. As you see here, it's entitled Carefree Like Me.
Hey.
You got chapter 1, part 1, and you got chapter 2, part 2. And that's awesome.
Thank you.
Being as a fellow author, it's always great to, collaborate with other authors as well.
Yep.
So, simply put, what inspired you to be an author?
Trying to put it simple. I'm going to try and keep it real simple. So, again, I wanted to create the books that I wanted to see as a kid. And growing up, I didn't see any books with black kids as the superheroes. I didn't see any stories of black kids as the person saving the day. But more than that, I didn't see black boys represented as being able to be emotional or caring or sensitive, or black boys able to express a wide range of emotions besides just being angry. And so what I wanted to do was to create a story where this boy and his best friend are going through a world that is imbalanced emotionally, and the only way that they can get back home is by using their emotional skills and their empathy to heal other people. And it's really struck a chord with people. It's really dope. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Just to kind of bring the human element in there as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think sometimes when people try to write books, I think they tend to overlap it too much with like fantasy or some other elements, and then like the message gets lost.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's nice to see that you found like that balance.
Thank you.
So let's talk about chapter 1. As you can see here, it's called Root the Brave. And I love the animation. I'm on some other stuff over here. The illustrations in here.
I like that you said that though.
But it's incredible, impeccable work.
Thank you.
It's just straight to the point. You know what I mean? It's not it's not presented in a way that's going to be like over someone's head.
Right.
So, explain to our viewers what's it about and the message you were trying to convey through this.
Definitely. So it's a series of 7 books. I only have 2 out currently published.
Okay.
But what it's 2 best friends who mistakenly get pulled into the spirit world, and they're stuck there until they can heal the emotions of 7 different heroes. So it's almost like they're unlocking the levels of a game. So once they heal the emotions of one hero, the other world unlocks for them to fix that. And so they are traveling through this whole like dimension, and the only way that they get back home is by healing these heroes. So what I wanted to talk to kids about is the power of, understanding your feelings, the power of helping others and being empathetic to people who you might not know or understand, but you care about because they're humans just like you. And also, each hero that they meet represents a different culture and then a different emotion as well. So it's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
That's very creative.
Thank you.
I never really heard it meshed together in that kind of way.
Right.
So it was good that you was able to incorporate different things. You know what I mean? So that's awesome.
Thank you.
So let's go to your second part.
Yeah.
Chapter 2. Sacred the Joys.
Yes.
Again, awesome cover. Let's get a closer look at this. This is incredible.
Thank you.
Let's take a gander.
Again, I haven't heard that word in a minute.
And again, for our viewers,
yeah.
Not only did you do the illustrations, but you wrote the book as well.
Yep.
And that's just like, to me, that's mind-boggling. Because it's hard enough for me just to write. And I do design my own covers for my books, but that's a small scale compared to this. To do an entire book of illustrations along with writing the book and staying on concept to what you were trying to do on here is incredible.
It's a lot.
But as you can see, very well illustrated.
Thank you.
So with this book, what's the central theme that you were trying to convey in this excerpt?
So how it differs from the first book is that, so again, each one deals with a different feeling. The first one was talking about how we deal with fear. The second book is about how we deal with sadness. So what it is they meet this goddess who, when things are good and when things are normal, she provides rain, water, wind. Like, she provides the elements that brings life to her kingdom. But she basically develops like depression. She becomes sad and she loses her magic. She loses her ability to create. And so her kingdom turns into a desert. And so the kids basically have to help her get her magic back to bring life back to her world. So, you know, it's symbolic for how what it feels like to be sad, how we feel kind of like a desert. We feel barren. And I wanted kids to be able to talk about sadness and to normalize it, as opposed to feeling like, I don't know how to deal with sadness. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not going to deal with it. So, you know, it's just a normal part of human life, and I wanted to make that accessible for kids in a fun way.
I think that's a nice point too, because especially with like young men.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, a lot of them is taught to kind of suppress their feelings.
Yep.
Because they have to be macho and man and machismo with their feelings. Like, men can't cry. You know, you just gotta suck it up and deal with it.
Yep.
But I mean, come on, man. With all the stuff that we have to contend with on an everyday basis, I mean, sometimes you just gotta let it out.
You have to.
And it's nice to know that you created this art form to let them know it's okay.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? To express yourself freely, and that doesn't take anything away from you. You decide to cry or that you're sad. We all go through these emotions.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's not going to stop once you become an adult.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because the problems escalate. Things that you have to contend with escalates once you become an adult. So why not, when you start as young, to help them in a subtle way, to just deal with their emotions in a rightful way.
Yep.
There's a wrong way and a right way to do things.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
yep.
I love that you was able to convey these in these books.
Thank you.
And I love the fact that this is an ongoing series.
Yes.
So that's awesome. So we got something to look forward to, y'all. Beautiful.
The next book is coming out next summer, so July, August 2023.
Hey, and we're going to have them here again, and we're going to pitch it. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. So,
love it.
A person of the many talents that you have,
thank you,
have filtered their abilities into becoming, yes, I'm going to talk about it, another hat he's wearing. He's an entrepreneur. And that's by itself remarkable and impressive, to just have the talent, but then translate that talent into a business.
Thank you.
For yourself. Because what's better than being self-employed? It's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? So, explain to our viewers about RAMALIK Illustrations and what does it entail?
Thank you for the question. So, what I wanted to do besides just the art is to incorporate the education piece. So, RAMALIK Illustrations is a multimedia company that focuses on the arts, visual and written, but also, again, like the education. So I illustrate for other people. Sometimes I'll do live caricatures if I have the time. which is fun. It's a lot of fun to draw people looking funny. It's great, and they can't get mad at you. Like, I love it. I love it. So beyond that, I also do my teaching. So I go to different art centers and schools and provide animation classes, comic book design, character design, illustration, whatever the school is looking for. And then on top of that, I go and do smaller workshops on creative writing, how to tell a story visually and written. And I also sell merch. So I sell my books, which is a great form of passive income. Like, I don't have to do anything except like show my pretty face, and people will buy it, which is great. And then I sell T-shirts, art prints. Like, I kind of like we said, like, we like to diversify and have multiple lanes to pull from.
I mean, it's like somebody had likened me to like an octopus. You know what I mean? Like, you got all them arms, you got your arm and everything, man. It's like, daggone Zeus, what you always working on something. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like if I didn't have a means to be creative, I think I would go crazy.
Right.
Because that's like my solace.
Yep.
Like, when I come to the studio and I work on different things and stuff, besides the fact it's just a great environment to work with different people, like we were mentioning earlier, that creative spirit bounces off each other. Right. But it's just my solace too. You know what I mean? It's my way of just getting myself together. You know what I mean? And I don't have to worry about if I decide writing a book. I don't have to worry about the notebook talking back to me. I don't have to worry about the computer screen talking back to me or whatever I'm doing. I could just go ahead and just be as free as I want to be and just be creative. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful that, like I said, you was able to kind of like take your skill set and do something for yourself. But most importantly, you took the chance.
Thank you.
Because some people, like we were mentioning earlier, just can't get above that.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know, the probability of me failing, even though you don't know you're going to fail, it outweighs the reward that you might actually get.
Right.
And, you know, in the real world, this is not fantasy world, everybody. It's the real world.
It'll be nice.
Not everything is going to happen to you like that. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to put in that work. Yep. You know what I mean? So how much are you willing to sacrifice your time, sacrifice resources in order to make your dream happen? You know what I mean? So I love the fact that you said at no cost, I'm going to make it happen. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, I don't mean to cut you off. No. You finish your thought. Because I know somebody out there going to be like, man, that man always trying to cut somebody off. Yo, go ahead.
No, you're good. No, I was just going to say to that point about, you know, things taking time. I officially started my business in 2017. Okay. It's 2022, and I've made, like, incredible progress. And, you know, within 5 years, I've been able to get... So both of these books have won awards. You know, they've reached not only nationally, but they've reached as far as, like, Saudi Arabia and Kenya. Like, they've made it around the world, and it's just been incredible. And I just want to point out, like, again, yes, like, it takes time, and you have to be willing to invest, not just in your business, but in yourself.
I always say you got to build equity. You know what I mean? Like, you're working a 9-to-5, your secular job. Right. You're making this company millions upon millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Yep. At some point in time, you just need to look at yourself and just be like, let me find a way to build equity within myself. Because they're getting it out of me during the week. Right. But I have a particular skill set. And now, even more important than that, I have something to offer. Right. You know what I mean? So why not do something with it? Even if you failed the first time, that's the beauty of life. You're able to pick yourself back up and do it again. And keep doing it until you find a way or find a method that works for you. Yep. You know what I mean? So just food for thought for you guys. Just food for thought. So lastly, since we're kind of been given or creating this ambience of encouragement. Yeah. What words of encouragement would you give the viewers who are trying to find their identity through their artistry?
That's a big question.
Yeah, I had to go deep on it.
Yeah, no, I love it. We go deep. Folks who are trying to find their identity through their artistry. I would say, okay, so I would say something that I've done, and I think, being an artist in the age of social media makes this harder, is we are very concerned with who's viewing our work and what they're gonna say, as opposed to did I say what I needed to say, as opposed to putting a filter on yourself and then worrying about whether or not the people on the other end are going to receive it well. So I would say for folks nowadays who are trying to find themselves or their craft, allow yourself to be unfiltered. Create for you, and then if you are, and then if you reach a point where you're willing and ready to share it with people, just allow it to be out there, because the people who are meant for you and your work are going to find you regardless, and the people who aren't meant for you, it's not going to be for them, and they're not going to gravitate towards it. But you will always find your audience. You will always find your niche. So always be true to you is really the key, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a definitely important thing that I think a lot of people overlook. If you're not honest with yourself, how are you going to be honest with other people? If you're not good within yourself and find contentment with yourself. Like you were saying, social media kind of killed it for a lot of people, because they're so consumed with this whole thought of living through someone else's image.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you got to live your life for yourself. You can't be so worried about what other people are going to say. I think we were talking about it before we started doing the interview about even after you're dead and you're laid to rest, people are going to talk about you.
That's it.
That seems to be the time when they really talk about you the worst.
All right.
And that's when you can't really do anything about it. So while you're living, why be so consumed with what people say? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're a person, I'm a person. I'm just trying to make it to the next step. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And I have a goal, I have a dream, I have the ambition, I have the drive, I have a passion towards something. Hey, don't knock me, man. At least I'm trying to do something positive. There's 1,000 other things I could be doing that's worse.
Right. That
will put me in a more worse predicament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's all about positivity here. You know what I mean? So the last thing on our agenda is everybody gonna want to know what's on the horizon for you. You did mention about the new book, Chapter 3 is coming out next year. But do you have anything else new coming up? The face said it all. You know what I mean?
I got a lot.
What's going on?
So, I've got Chapter 3 coming out. So this next book is called Carefree Like Me, Chapter 3, Plex the Calm. So this is dealing with anger and how we deal with anger and how we deal with frustration. I don't want to say a whole lot about it because I don't want to ruin it.
Let's just be mum on that.
We'll keep it mum.
Yeah, we'll keep it mum.
So that's coming up in this next summer. So July, August is what I'm looking to have as a publication date. So I need to launch a Kickstarter and I need to raise money to get it printed. But once I get that done, then we're all set. Okay. And then so I'm also working with I've been fortunate enough to have a literary agent. So now we're in the process of submitting out a pitch for a graphic novel that I've been working on. And so that one, I will loosely say, involves ancient Egypt, modern day Harlem, and then the LGBT ballroom community. And that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say.
Oh, man.
I know, I'm leaving you hanging.
You're leaving me hanging here. Don't worry, he gonna give me something after this interview. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I got you. And then I'm working on another book all about hair. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm keeping it super vague. I apologize. But that I'm doing with my literary agent as well.
It's understandable. You don't want to put out all the goodies right off rip. You know what I mean? Let people savor the moment. Look, it's something they can look forward to.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Big old afros.
But again, Mr. Davis, I appreciate you coming through today to the studio. It was an honor and a privilege for you to be here. Again, it's just great to just talk with creative minds.
Likewise.
You definitely got me, stirring up the pot, so to speak, up here in the membrane.
Yes.
With some new stuff. Possibly an Olympian RAMALIK collaboration. We're gonna keep mum on that too. You know what I mean? future details coming later. You know what I mean? But again, it was just a bless that you came here, especially going out your way. I'm sorry that you had to come to the boondocks.
Listen, it was worth it. It was worth it. It was worth it.
But definitely appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
Definitely a blessed time here. You know what I mean?
It was. Thank you so much for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Awesome. You know what I mean? So look out for this guy. Oh, before we forget, is there any links that people can get on? I'm going to definitely have it on the description below when I upload the video, but to let these viewers know.
Okay. So, if you can see, maybe not, but my website is www.ramalik, RAMALIK, illustrations.com. My Instagram is the same, Ramalik_illustrations. And then my Twitter is RashadMD. And that's it.
Awesome. And we're going to have all that information for y'all in the description below. Definitely, if you get a chance, check out these books, man, because they're just freaking awesome. I mean, show support for local authors, for local talent, artists. You know what I mean? Some of the best work that you'll ever see, the best creative minds, is literally in your back door. You know what I mean? I just want to give a quick shout out to my man J-So. A lot of inspiration there. My partner in crime. We got something coming too, but it ain't about us. You know what I mean? Oh, quick shout out to my producer, Nani the artist. Good looking now too. But again, it ain't about you either. It's about Mr. Davis, baby. Alright, so we had his presence bless the studio. We appreciate y'all tuning in. You know who it is. It's Zeus Cruz of Olympian Multimedia. And we gonna check you out later. And by the way, man, we gonna work on that thing, man. You know what I'm saying?